were just talking about California Common Sense, and they took a look at the California welfare system and have found an enormous number of overpayments through fraud, through internal errors, through external errors, and very little investigation. And we're talking about almost $850 million over the last decade. I just want you to imagine $850 million in our coffers. So I decided, you know what, I wanted to talk to one of the researchers, and Davina Kaldani is the person who actually wrote the article. So Davina, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Now, let's just talk about some of these errors, because there is fraud, there is administrative error, there are beneficiary errors, and no matter what, it's still money that's owed to the state of California, correct?
Exactly.
And what are we looking at this year as far as fraudulent overpayments?
Basically, from what we found in 2012-13, the identified overpayments were around $130 million, with a total of $19.5 million in fraudulent overpayments. And this amount actually could be equivalent to the cost of enrolling approximately 13,000 additional cases this year.
You know, and you found something else that I thought was really interesting as well, and it's how you go about getting this money and some of the things that they basically ask people to do. Like if you have a car that's worth over about $4,200, you can't have that car and be on CalWorks, which doesn't make any sense to me, because how do most people in California get to work?
Exactly. I mean, some of the program rules are just not, basically, they don't they don't help the low-income families that are on basically this program. And basically, for example, as you just mentioned, if a family owns a car worth more than $4,650, it could become ineligible.
So they have to sell the car, and then they have to spend the money so that they cannot save it for a car when they're not on CalWorks anymore. And if they have any savings, then they have to get rid of that too.
Exactly, and that basically the family would have fewer resources available to help them return to the long-term self-sufficiency, which I think is the main goal of CalWorks.
Well, and that's supposed to be the main goal of CalWorks. So the idea is, hey, this is a temporary bit of help. We're going to get you back on your feet. And when you do get back on your feet, it'll be hopefully relatively quick, and you can go out and then get a job and then take care of yourself. Does this inadvertently actually leave people in poverty?
Well, basically, there has been some program changes. The rules have been changing very recently, and we just have to wait and see what the effects of the new program rules will be. So hopefully there'll be positive effects. They'll help these families to basically have long-term self-sufficiency. But as of now, with the previous program rules, I think, yes, probably. I don't think it'll go somewhere far.
Now, let's talk about the fraud, because these are people who are lying in order to get benefits, who are purposefully saying, oh, no, I don't have a car, I don't have this, I don't have that, and they're not supposed to get it. Do we know where these people are even? Does the state have any open cases to go, wait a minute, this person is not supposed to have this?
Basically, I think all this comes from the state of the economy of California. After the recession, we've been recovering very slowly. So basically, this means that more people would want to apply to this program and try to become eligible. So they would probably want to not show like their income or whatever they have basically to become eligible. I think this all goes back to the slow recovery of the economy of California.
So are they going to need to basically hire more people to do investigation?
Yes, that is probably one of the issues as well, because basically from 2007-8 to 2011-12, welfare spending just decreased by 17%, while the number of cases increased due to the recession, just the recent recession. So adding to these program pressures, there were few number of eligibility staff and investigation units to investigate applicants and current beneficiaries' eligibility and detect potential fraud activities.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought was really intriguing about this is the monthly grant. It went from $830 a month, which is nothing, for instance, in San Diego, in 2006 to 2007. Now it's down to $670 after you adjust for inflation. And that is a pretty significant drop. It's also not enough money to pay even rent.
Exactly.
Here.
So basically, these reductions have probably led families to struggle even harder to make ends meet.
Now, the causes of the overpayments, you guys have tried to identify them. And one of the things that you said was some of these were administrative caused errors. And while those numbers seem to be going down, I think they ticked up a little bit between 2011, 2012 and 2012, 2013. They are really costly administrative errors.
Yes, actually, even though the client-caused errors are declining, the cost of client-caused errors are declining, the cost of administrative errors are now less than the client-caused errors. However, they're rising.
So these have led to an average of $660 annually per case?
You could say that, yes.
Okay, so just about a little over $650 a year is, again, not that much for one family, but for 10,000.
Yeah, if you look at these errors like individually, they might not seem very significant, but if you taken together, they prove very costly to the system, to the taxpayers, and to the and if you can just imagine how they could have just funded thousands of additional cases instead.
Davina Kaldani is with us from California Common Sense. Really quickly, have you guys been able to report that to the state of California, the results of your investigation?
Oh, no, not yet.
Well, please do that soon.
Thank you.
All right, Davina, thank you so much. I'm very, very pleased to talk to you.
Oh, pleasure to talk to you.
Okay, that's Davina Kaldani over the California welfare overpayments over fraud and internal errors and limited investigation as well. It's something that's costing us a lot of money, and we need to get that money back.